It is finally that time to get together for a fun Christmas marathon with some early decorating ideas, so let's get straight into it.
You are my home, the light you share.
This is going to be a lovely compilation video of all of my decorating spaces from last year. I hope that it gives you so much inspiration for this coming holiday season. This was our house last year prior to us moving, and it was really sweet just going back and being able to rewatch everything and seeing how much fun we had getting ready for the Christmas season last year. So I hope this puts you into the spirit, and let's get decorating.
Don't you disappear. I can feel every heartbeat, holding you close to my body. Time over slow, you're smiling. Yeah, you got me. Not even overreacting. You're like a chain reaction. I never felt this happy. Yeah, you got me. You are my whole life. Don't you disappear.
Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Danielle. For those of you who are brand new around here, welcome. I'm so grateful to have you here on the channel today as we are continuing to decorate our house for Christmas. I absolutely love the Christmas season. I love being able to decorate and just bring that cozy spirit into the house. And as I was preparing to get the living room together, I really wanted to create a cozy and natural look with my decor. In years past, I've done sort of a woodland themed, but I wanted a more gathered, natural feel. I talked about this in my kitchen decorate video, but I wanted to use a blend of woods, greeneries, and blacks to accent throughout. Now that doesn't mean that I didn't sprinkle in red here and there, but I really focused on a much more muted red that favored more of a maroon base. And I love how all of it blended together. It looks so incredibly beautiful. I also wanted to build with varying materials. So the way I did that in my living room was by using different bells, velvet. I used a lot of black velvet, which I absolutely loved this year. And items like candles and books. I really love how cozy candles are and how much life they bring to a space, especially when they are flickering. We don't have a fireplace, but we do have many radiators throughout our home. So ever since we moved in, we've actually used this front radiator to create a stocking spot. It's the perfect location for not only our stockings to hang down, but to build out a beautiful vignette around it. I know growing up that we used to always hang our stockings on our staircase, or we would actually nail them to the wall. It always interests me to hear how people have fun family traditions or memories from their childhood. So I'd love to hear in the comments below, where did you guys hang your stockings? Because people got so creative over the years, and I love hearing how everyone did it. So far, this radiator has been doing the trick wonderfully for us, and it warms my heart to see them there year after year. I pray that my boys have fond memories of running down to this very location each year to check what is in their stockings. And moving on to my staircase, this year I was looking to do a completely new look for our staircase garland. We don't do a ton of large greenery garlands around the house, but I've always loved having something here on the banister. And after 10 years in this house and using the same garland every single year, I finally grabbed a new garland that I am slowly falling in love with. It absolutely is bringing that very raw and natural feel that I was hoping for this year. In the past, I've had greenery that very much had more of that pine needly look, which I feel like is a very traditional look for the Christmas season. But this year, I have been absolutely loving that faux cypress green and wanted to build a very full design using that entire visual of like the cypress and the eucalyptus. Oh my goodness, I just absolutely love it. It is so romantic and beautiful. I mentioned this in my Christmas kitchen decorate video, and if you've missed that one, I will definitely link it in the description below. But I wanted to give y'all not just inspirational decor this year, but a helpful tutorial with each video so that you could create this cozy natural Christmas as well. While I was putting this living room together, I thought that showing you how to fill out the Christmas garland to make it very voluminous would be hopefully inspirational to you as you're decorating your home. I loved how delicate this garland was that I grabbed from Michael's this year. Absolutely stunning, but wanted to accentuate it and with different picks to thicken it up. So for a few extra dollars, I grabbed some of my favorite picks from Hobby Lobby and some floral wire to fasten them into place. I took each pick and shuffled them around the garland. I tucked them into the different areas where there seemed to be holes that kind of needed to be filled in. I really wanted it to be a very full looking garland. Such a simple concept, but it leaves an incredible impact. I then finished the garland off by adding these knit strand garlands with brass bells. I love this natural feel and the warmth that it brings to the space. It is absolutely lovely. I also wanted to take the look down the banister and did so with the swag that I found at Walmart this year. It has that very same realistic cypress feel to it. However, I was not a fan of the big red bow, and I ended up removing that and replacing it with a black velvet bow in its place. This is the same black velvet that I used in my kitchen tutorial, and I grabbed this off of Amazon. It was so inexpensive. I got so much ribbon with it. I will have that item linked in the description as well if you are interested in purchasing this black velvet. It worked beautiful. I've used it all over my house in decor. I attached it to the banister with a simple command hook and then added these beautiful vintage looking bells from Hobby Lobby. So stunning. Then to hide the command hook, I placed one last pick into the garland at the end to reach over to the swag. The completed look is so stunning. It's so elegant, and I just can't get enough of it. I also wanted to create a greenery piece for over the door into our kitchen as well, the doorway there. And I did so by combining two different stems that I grabbed during the summer season, but I actually believe that they still have them at Hobby Lobby now. One of them is this beautiful eucalyptus, and the other one, I don't actually know what to call this stem, but I have it in a couple of places in my house. I absolutely love it. It has a very kind of light and muted mauvey green tone, and it matches the eucalyptus so lovely. So I felt like the two pieces blended together so lovely. I'm really happy with how they worked. I wanted to try something a little different this year by using the 2 different stems that were not the same, but again, had that lovely contrast in color and style. And then I used my floral wire to fasten them both together and then filled everything out with 4 different cypress style picks to really build out this little doorway garland piece. I then found these gorgeous bells. These were also in the pick section at Hobby Lobby. They were only a few dollars. I want to say like $3.99 or $4.99, and then the 50% off. I thought they were such a steal. I took them and I threaded them through the floral wire as well. One of my tricks to actually get this to go well is to literally just loop the floral wire down the entire piece so that it really holds everything together, but then you can also use it to thread the other picks into it. And then to finish off this look and tie all of the room together, I again placed this black velvet bow in the center of the garland. Creating your own decorations is one of my favorite parts of Christmas, and this unique swag DIY was the perfect addition to our doorway into the kitchen, and it really brought the same look from the banister garland into the doorway as well, and I love how the 2 pieces blend so beautifully together. This gorgeous green pillowcase I grabbed off of Amazon earlier in the season. I actually showed this on my, I think it was called Affordable Christmas Decor haul, but it had a combination of different places that I had grabbed things from, and one of them was from Amazon. And I love this pillowcase. I put it over one of my favorite pillows that we use all of the time throughout the year anyway, and it is the softest, coziest, snuggliest knit material, so we have already been taking nice cozy naps on the couch with this pillow in place. The final corner of my living room is actually right by our front window, just to the side of it. I have some shelves and a credenza table underneath the shelves, and I don't actually change these shelves out a lot. They tend to have the same stuff on them throughout the entire year, but I actually don't mind that, because if you can tell, I am literally doing acrobatics just to reach them from where they are located. There's really no easy way to get like a ladder there, so I'm kind of hanging off the side of the couch to do this. But also, I really love the pieces that I keep there year round, so I kept a lot of the base pieces and just added a few trees, a few bits of color of red and green, and I really feel like the shelves filled out nicely. Underneath them on the credenza table, I just wanted to really add a kind of peaceful, romantic feel, a little bit of a collected feel. So I did so with pictures and greens and books and wood pieces and baskets. And everything came together so lovely. If I have any of these items from my Amazon cart, I will definitely link them below if you are interested in grabbing any of them. But honestly, a lot of them are thrifted finds. I have a bunch of transferware from, again, thrift shopping. I found some amazing things throughout the year this past year, and a lot of these books are thrifted as well. So lovely, and they just create the coziest, most welcoming look to the corner of my living room. And that was honestly what I was trying to accomplish this year. I really just wanted a beautiful, snuggly vibe that said, come in, enjoy the living room, come downstairs, have a nice cup of coffee, enjoy your breakfast. And our dining room and our living room are connected to each other, so everybody is kind of in and about the whole area all of the time, all day long. So having this incredibly cozy area is just something that brought so much life into the entire house. And then the very last thing that I did in my entire living room was I added some garland. In the past, this garland that I put across the, I guess it's the entryway into the dining room, has always been a more rustic garland. I have some pieces that are made of like pine cones and all sorts of fun rustic pieces like that. But I decided not to put those up this year and instead put this very natural wood and cotton sort of blend garland, and I love how simple it is. It just adds a little bit of fanciness to the top of the entryway into the dining room, and it's just absolutely beautiful. So I was very happy with how that came together. And honestly, guys, that's my entire living room. I love it. Like I said, we're in here all of the time, every single day, always cozying up and watching movies and having a great time together as a family. And honestly, for me, that's what Christmas is all about. So thank you guys so much for watching this video. Again, I'd love to hear what your traditions are in the comments below. That always is so much fun. And I can't wait to see you guys back here next week when we continue to decorate, and you actually get to see my tree next. I can't wait to show you. Have an amazing week, my friends, and have a very happy holiday season. I will see you real soon. Bye. As I was preparing for my decorating this year and all of these videos that I am getting ready to bring to you guys, I wanted to bring you both beautiful content as well as fun tutorials throughout the Christmas season. If there's one word that I want to use to describe this season or put at the forefront of my mind, the word is tradition. I want my family to remember delicious scents that dance through our kitchen, having belly laughs at our dining room table, and cozy snuggles on our sofa as we play games and watch Christmas movies. Creating Christmas traditions was one of the core memories of my childhood, something that I loved and looked forward to every single year. And now I get to be mom and create those same beautiful traditions for my babies. So let's set some lovely traditions together this year that we can go back to year after year with our families. This year we created a tradition of making our own homemade natural ornaments. We made both dried orange garland as well as ornaments and cranberry garland as well. The supplies that you will need if you are interested in doing this DIY is a bag of oranges and cranberries, jute string, a large knitting needle, and scissors. I started by slicing the oranges super thin. Try to keep them around 1/4 of an inch thick. I definitely tried to speed things up at the end and cut the last few a bit thicker, and they took forever to dry. So the thinner the better. However, now that it's been nearly a week, they have been seemingly drying out even more over time. So I heated up my oven to 200 degrees Fahrenheit, and I placed my oranges on a parchment-lined cookie sheet. I took a moment to use a paper towel and dab out any wetness from the orange while I placed it on the cookie sheet. And then I put it into the oven at 200 degrees for about 2.5 to 3 hours, checking on them every hour. My thinner ones were done in about 3 hours, but the thicker ones did take the better part of like 5 hours to dry out. I know, crazy. Luckily, I did this on a colder day, so the warm oven really added some coziness to our decorating while my oranges were in the oven. And then I took some time to begin decorating throughout my kitchen. When I was planning out my concept for the kitchen, I kept going back to a very sort of Scandinavian feel, like at least my interpretation of what a Scandinavian feel is. I wanted the color palette to be super rich and dark, which is honestly very unlike me. I tend to gravitate towards bright whites, lively reds, and even some light blues in a few spaces. But this year I wanted my dominating colors to be green, brown, and black with some maroon mixed in. I think it is so important when you are getting ready to decorate to really have at least a color palette picked out, which will really help in your design as you are continuing to make things look cohesive throughout a space. I grabbed a lot of natural elements like wood and woven baskets, mixed in with some greens like evergreens, dried oranges. I also wanted to create a deeply vintage and collected feel, and I did this by using antique books, thrifted treasures, and varying textiles. Most of the items on these shelves I've spent some time thrifting over the years and like really beautifully curating to feel inviting and well loved. I absolutely love the collection of pieces that I was able to grab and organize and put together. I really think that it gave this very cozy, lived in, loved on look to the space that I was going for. I wanted my kitchen to feel not just lovely, but an invitation to be worked in. One of the things that always attracts me to the Scandinavian design is the beauty that feels lived in. Vintage pieces handed down generation to generation, mixed in with fresh baked goods, moody vignettes, fresh fruit on the counter. I wanted my kitchen to invite the family in as we spent time together making homemade decorations, fresh baked pies, and piping hot cups of tea. As we prepared for large family meals from scratch and dance around to our favorite Christmas songs. I wanted it to be a memory-making kitchen, and that's exactly what the natural element and color palette of those rich tones brought to my heart. As I saw all of these different pieces mixed together, it made me feel like I was walking into a space that was well lived in. Continuing on with this idea of tradition, I wanted my decor to have a handmade touch to it. Decor doesn't have to look the way that you bought it either. Adding a beautiful velvet ribbon, this one I grabbed off of Amazon and I'll have it linked in the description below if you're interested. Or filling a basket with a festive scarf, adding a bow to something that didn't originally have a bow. This can give a homemade feel to any space that you are decorating. One of the easiest ways that I do this is by purchasing a lot of neutral pieces. I picked up a ton of natural greenery, a lot of evergreens for this Christmas season, as well as having some eucalyptus and other stems that I had already purchased throughout the year as well. I've also grabbed different baskets and bowls throughout the year while I'm out thrifting. I love kind of mixing all of these together and creating an entire cohesive look. And I was able to put all these different collected items into different areas of the kitchen to really bring this whole feel together. The other thing that I like about seeing how I've put together all of these different collected pieces is each piece brings me back to the adventure that I was on when I found it in the first place. I think that is the most fun part about having a collected decor, a collected look in your home, is you're able to remember the memories that are attached to each piece. And I really feel like that's what I'm talking about when I say a lived-in space. Looking at something, remembering where you were, who you were with, what the time was like that you spent together. When you see each of those pieces, there are sweet stories that are attached to them. Like this red bird for one. Last year we were wandering through Hobby Lobby, my son and I, and he was absolutely obsessed with this cute little red bird. And it was something that he refused to put down. So I told him that we could buy it, and he hugged it and loved on it the entire time we walked through the store. And it was the main piece of decor in his room for the entire Christmas season. I love little stories like that. And even as I was editing this video earlier today, he was so excited to see the red bird in the video, and he kept making me play it over and over again. I thought it was so cute. Moving on to my tiered tray, I wanted to take this and do something a little bit different with it. I mean, I try to do new and different things in this space all of the time, but I feel like I consistently go back to different coffee cups or specifically cooking items in here. And I wanted to do some things that maybe weren't cooking specific. So I took my wax melt warmer that I usually have out on the counter, and I stuck it into the tiered tray because I thought that it looked so lovely with inside that and would be a really sweet piece. I also love this little wooden house that says joy. I had joy in a different area in my kitchen as well. It's the main piece on my shelves, and it's something that I wanted to remember every single time I walked into my kitchen throughout the holiday season. So I love that I have a couple of different pieces that say joy on them. That way it is a consistent reminder that as I walk into this room, I'm going to share joy with the people that I love most in the entire world. I wanted to fill this tray up not just with collected pieces, but with also sweet little picks. I got a bunch of picks from Hobby Lobby this year, and I think they are the best way to really make an area look cozy and lovely, and like you had just kind of wandered outside and collected some lovely items. I've been really enjoying these cypress looking picks that I had mentioned were only $2 when I originally picked them up. I grabbed a ton of them and I have them all over my house, as well as some picks that I have been carrying from year to year from other places that I grabbed. I think I got these from Michael's, but I've literally had them for so long I couldn't even remember. And then again, adding those natural wood elements, wooden spoons, wooden ornaments, all of those things really make the space come together. And I absolutely love decorating with ornaments. It is the perfect way to make things super affordable, but really lovely.
Don't you disappear. I can feel every heartbeat, holding you close to my body. Time over slow, you're smiling. Yeah, you got me, not even overreacting. You're like a chain reaction. I've never felt this happy. Yeah, you got me. You are my whole life. Don't you disappear.
Once my oranges were dry, I allowed them to fully cool, and then I measured my string for the area that I wanted to be adding this garland. The area is right over the window in my kitchen, and I knew it would add such a lovely bit of decoration. I cut the piece of jute that I was using, and I tied off the one end with a loop knot, and then I threaded my needle with the jute. This is a large knitting needle, and you can get any one in the knitting aisle of Hobby Lobby, Joann's, Walmart, any of the stores like that. Again, once my oranges were cool, I used the needle to go into one side of the orange. I would run the string across the back and then come through the other side with the needle. I love how beautiful this garland came out. It was such a sweet tradition to start with my boys, and I love the old world charm and feel that it brought to the kitchen. I continued to thread my needle through all of the different orange slices, and what I love about using jute and going slowly through these slices is that you can actually arrange them however you would like to put them in a line. So whether that means that you have them tight and close together, or like I did in this tutorial, I actually left a space between each yarn to make a very simplistic look, which I really love how it came out. You can do it whichever way works the best for your style and design. Moving on to the other side of my kitchen, I started off with a blank slate here, and I always feel like that's the best way to start off in your kitchen, is to just kind of get everything out that you're not really going to be using anymore. Keep the things that you have there year round, but get rid of the rest. Then starting with this blank slate, I added in some extra decor on the wall, and then I put back the copper strainer that I had grabbed thrifting in the fall. I love this strainer, and I love copper at Christmas too. I think that it is just as lovely as it is in the fall, and it is a great way to display fruits and vegetables and still have a little bit of a design element there. Now on the wall, I have this cutie lamp that I picked up from Walmart the other day. It was not in the Christmas section, I already said that. It was in the regular decor section, but I had mentioned this in my haul video, in my shop with me video of Walmart. You don't always have to use the things that come with the item that you purchased. So this lamp had a very, very white shade, and I did not love it. It did not add the cozy feel that I was really going for. So I got this beautiful tan burlap looking shade with black trim, and it really added the feel that I was going for in this space. And I love how this vignette came all together. I love using a lot of my crocks and pots that I already had in my house to act as pots for my Christmas trees to go in. And even though they are fake, it really adds a real element that gives this kind of fake tree some life. And then my son and I added our orange garland that we put together up on the wall with some command hooks. Super duper easy. I have been on the command hook train this year, and I've used my command hooks to hang up everything in our kitchen and throughout all of our decorating. I wanted to use that black ribbon again that I had used earlier in my other wreath, but instead of doing a bow this time, I'm just taking some super glue and I am gluing the two ends together so that I can make this dangle over my kitchen cabinets. And this super cool trick that I learned a couple years ago now was take your command hook and put it on a door upside down. That way you can actually get a wreath to hang over the back of the door. Super duper easy, and it looks like it is just seamless with the door. There's nothing that is bulky and in the front where you can see it. And then I just took more of that velvet black ribbon. I made a bow, put a little piece of jute string behind it, and then was able to hang it on the command hook at the end. The next DIY that we were doing in this video is just a cranberry garland strand. This again was something super easy where I did 2 loop knots. I did one on the end of the jute, and then I strung with my knitting needle through the cranberries. Super duper easy through the top and bottom of the cranberry, and then add that loop knot on the other end and hang it up. This took me a couple of minutes. It was, like I said, super duper easy. And then we were finishing off all of our homemade decor with some orange ornaments as well. I grabbed my knitting needle, I put a hole at the top of the orange slice, and then cut pieces of jute string, strung that through the hole and tied it off to make an ornament that I could just throw on this tree sitting on the countertop. I truly love how this entire space came out. It is lovely. Every time I walk into the kitchen, I get excited to cook a meal, to prep something, to bake something, because it just looks so lovely and inviting and cozy. So I'm incredibly grateful for you stopping by and for watching this video. I'd love to hear what some of your Christmas traditions are in the comments down below. And I can't wait to continue to decorate with you guys and to spend time with you throughout the Christmas season. Have an amazing week, my friends, and I will see you so soon. Bye. I absolutely love when we get the tree out every year. It is the true beginning of Christmas in my mind, and even though this video is going up last in my decorating series, this tree was actually the very first thing to go up. We grabbed it from Michael's about 8 years ago, and it has served us very, very well over the years. I never grew up with a fake tree. It actually used to be the highlight of my Christmas season to get all bundled up and head out to the local tree market to pick out the best and the fullest tree that they had on the lot. But the tree prices have continued to just skyrocket over the years, and my husband convinced me years ago to purchase a fake tree. I wanted to make sure it was flocked because I loved that style when we purchased this about 8 years ago. And the deal was, if I'm going to be using a fake tree, then it needs to go up on November 1st, and that exactly is what our tradition is now. If it's not quite the 1st, it's somewhere around there, and I love seeing it up throughout the season. I love the coziness that it has ushered in every single year. And I love to hear in the comments below if you grew up picking out a real tree or brought out Old Faithful year in and year out. I didn't film us decorating the tree, but that is honestly because I find that to be kind of a personal and beloved family tradition, one that I wanted to be super present for as we enjoyed time pulling out all the ornaments that represent our family and what we've gone through throughout the years. We always pick out a very sentimental and beautiful ornament and put that to the tree, like add it to the collection every year, and I absolutely love that. But you'll be able to see the fully decorated tree in my upcoming house tour video, which is going to be coming out next week. So make sure to come back to see that. I picked up the sign from Hobby Lobby this year, and although I don't really decorate with wood signs anymore, I truly fell in love with this one. Not only did I feel like the colors and the tone really fit my design style this year, but as I looked at the Christmas wreath, I couldn't help but see the crown of thorns through the beauty of it. I'm not sure if that is what the artist was going for, but I loved how this painting felt like the totality of Christ's time on earth, the beginning and the end, and I knew that is exactly what I wanted in my dining room for this Christmas season. I didn't purchase many new things for this room this year, besides my new favorite sign that I just mentioned, and the few things that I did grab were mostly thrifted items. I've spoken about this so many times on my channel, but you do not need to break the bank for your home to look beautifully decorated. Through a combination of thrifted finds and reusing old items that I had in other locations previous years, I was able to achieve a totally fresh and inspiring look in my dining room and truly throughout my entire house. I mentioned this in a previous video, but I really wanted to challenge myself to be able to create a unique look with items I currently have used in different locations. The candles that I'm adding to the coffee bar I've had since our first year of marriage, but I've never had them on the coffee bar, so this change really brought a bright pop of color and had a lovely impact for zero cost. I also love slowly adding to my collection year after year, carefully curating beautiful pieces and then convey that sense of warmth that I'm hoping for in the season and for years to come. Sometimes I reassess older items and end up taking them to Goodwill, but that is honestly very rare as I find many new locations for them to wind up. I start decorating new rooms and I really enjoy that. I love how my buffet was a totally classic Christmas vibe. It was all done with thrifted decor items or items that I'd purchased many, many years ago. Again, going back to that idea of beautifully curating a collection. Your style can really blend from year to year if you know what you like and you continue to buy similar items year after year. Not just what is trendy for the season, but classic pieces that will stand the test of time and progress with your desired style. The cake plate that I used, for instance, has been in my family for over 35 years. I remember it sitting in my kitchen island while I grew up as a constant centerpiece. And now my kids get to share in its simplistic beauty as they grow up as well. Hopefully it will be a fond memory of various treats being filled for them to giddily enjoy throughout the Christmas season. It's the sweetest feeling in the world to watch your babies making core memories with you as my husband and I do our best to make the season as magical as possible. wanted to take some time to cozy up this corner of my dining room. It has this window and this old door here throughout the year, and I've always really enjoyed those pieces. I thrifted them so many years ago, but I did so with just these very simplistic evergreen stems with a few pine cones on them. I've had these for years and I thought that they would be perfect just kind of lying on top of the window. And this beautiful, beautiful thrifted piece that I grabbed just last week at the thrift store of Mary holding sweet baby Jesus. I love this photo so much. It's one of my absolute favorites and I can't wait to pull it out year after year. For my dining room table, I did want to grab a new tablecloth that was again classic, simple, and charming. I wanted something that I could use for various seasons, which is a huge thing when I'm buying new items, as I want them to have utility throughout multiple seasons and different purposes, as well as add a very lovely touch during the Christmas season. So I found this beautiful cream color tablecloth with ruffle detail on Amazon, and I could not love it more, guys. There is something very romantic yet sweet about it, as if it came off the table at Green Gables itself. I absolutely love it, and I'll have it linked in the description if you are interested in grabbing it for your own table. I wanted to round off this very subtle style of a tablecloth with a very simple centerpiece, and did so with this tray of gathered items. Most of them came from my thrift haul last week, and if you missed that video, I will have it linked below. I love using trays in my Christmas centerpieces because they are super easily mobile if a holiday gathering calls for more table space. Spoiler, we have already had to move it a few times now, as we've had friends and family gather here. Even though I enjoy putting together lovely little vignettes, I even more so adore the countless hours laughing around the table with friends and family as we play games, eat a delicious meal, munch on some amazing treats, or discuss what the year has brought us through. This dining room is super cozy and brings the exact amount of warmth into our home that I was looking for. The dining room truly is the heart of our home. Friends constantly gather here and so much is shared around this table. I'm looking forward to making even more memories here this Christmas as I prepare hot sourdough cinnamon buns, which is our favorite Christmas breakfast tradition, and read some of our favorite Christmas classic tales throughout the season. Our table is where we share so much life together. I truly love this room and all of the beauty and simplicity that it has brought to our entire house this Christmas season. As I had mentioned in my other Christmas decorate videos, I wanted to not only decorate, but to bring a tutorial to y'all and each and every single one of my videos for the Christmas season. In my kitchen decorate video, we created dried and natural ornaments and garlands with oranges and cranberries. And in my living room, I showed you how to fill out a banister garland to give it a very gorgeous and robust feel for the season. And in this video, I thought it would be perfect to include a gingerbread cookie baking tutorial for you and your families to enjoy. Since we love keeping fresh baked holiday cookies, in our case in the dining room, I thought that this would be absolutely perfect. And since my boys are always my biggest helpers, they were all too excited to jump into the cookie making and decorating. So for this recipe, you are going to need 1 cup of soft butter, 1 cup of brown sugar, 1 large egg, 1 cup of molasses, 1 tablespoon of apple cider vinegar, 2 teaspoons of vanilla. And then for your dry ingredients, you're gonna want 5 cups of flour, 1 teaspoon of baking soda, half a teaspoon of salt. And then your gingerbread spices specifically, you're gonna want 1 tablespoon of ginger, 1 tablespoon of cinnamon, a half a teaspoon of allspice, a half a teaspoon of cloves, and a 1/4 teaspoon of nutmeg. This creates such a delicious blend all together, and I absolutely love the mixture. It came out so well. So what I was starting off with was beating the butter and the brown sugar in my stand mixer. And then once that was completely creamed together, I added in my egg, molasses, apple cider vinegar, and vanilla. And as that was mixing together, I then put all of my dry ingredients, including all the gingerbread spices, in a separate bowl. And yes, my adorable little helpers were there to help me out the entire way. Once I had everything mixed together, I then added the dry ingredients into my wet mixture as it was continuing to beat in the KitchenAid. Once that was fully mixed, I just covered it with some saran wrap and stuck it in the fridge for a few hours. You want to do at least 3 hours, but you can do it up to overnight. After your cookie mixture has had time to sit in the refrigerator, you're going to take it out, let it sit at room temperature for about 15 minutes so it's a little bit easier to roll, and preheat your oven to 350 degrees. Then I just took my dough and I actually made it into 2 different sections. This was just easier for me to be able to roll out. And then I rolled out my dough and I used my cookie cutters to make a whole bunch of fun shapes.
I can feel every heartbeat, holding you close to my body. Time over slowly smiling. Yeah, you got me. Not even overreacting. You're like a chain reaction. I've never felt this happy. Yeah, you got me.
Once you have all of your cookies out and on your baking tray, you're going to want to bake them in your oven for about 10 to 12 minutes. I will link the recipe in my description for you to follow along with as well, so that will be much easier for you instead of just writing down everything I just said. And after I was finished baking my cookies and allowing them to cool, I made some homemade icing to decorate with. Super simple. I mixed together 1 cup of powdered sugar with 2 tablespoons of milk. And then I used my whisk attachment to my immersion blender to mix it all together smoothly. I grabbed a mason jar originally to make this whole process more aesthetically pleasing for the camera, and then I immediately regretted that decision when I realized it was impossible to get my measurement cup into it. Oh well, you live and you learn, and hopefully next time I will get a bigger bowl. Once you've achieved a thicker consistency, pour the icing into a sandwich bag and cut the corner to create your own little piping bag. This is the easiest way to decorate each cookie, which my son and I had a blast doing together on Thanksgiving morning as we watched the parade march past Macy's on our TV screen. Another one of my absolute favorite holiday traditions, and I'm so happy to be able to pass it on to my kids and have fun with them. These cookies came out so incredibly delicious, and since we baked them for Thanksgiving, they were a fantastic treat for everyone to snack on. I hope that this is going to be another tradition that we can continue to grow as the years go on. So thank you guys so much for watching this video. I'm always so grateful for you all. Leave a comment below and let me know what some of your favorite baked goods to make during the Christmas season. And I can't wait to see you guys next week as we will be doing our entire house tour to see how everything has come together. Again, check in the description below if you're interested in seeing how we've decorated other parts of the house or seeing some of our other tutorials. And I will see you guys next week. I cannot wait, and I hope you are having a magical Christmas season. Have a wonderful week, my friends. Bye.